random thing. I never wanted to do masters. Like, so package, everyone knows what TCS pays.
Yeah,
Okay,
means
so I
it's
don't want to say. So the base pay would be around 130K, 140K dollar to 160, 70K would be the base pay. Then on top of that,
Hi Shreya, how are you?
hey Aarsh, I'm fine. How are you doing?
Fine. Yeah. So first of
Great.
all, tell me something about you.
So I am Shreya Singh. I'm master student here. I'm doing masters in management information system from
Hmm.
University of Arizona right now in US, and I'm also interning this summer with Microsoft as a technical product manager.
Hmm.
So that's about me. I'm basically from Varanasi. I take all the pride whenever I say this. I
Hmm.
am brought up in Varanasi, UP, India. And after that, I did my undergrad from GL Bajaj Institute of Technology and Management in Greater Noida. It's an amazing university. Not many people know of it, but yeah, it's a good
Hmm.
university. And post that, I worked for over 3 years in Tata Consultancy Services. And after that, I moved here for my master's. So
Hmm.
that's been my entire journey.
That's great. Then why do you decided to pursue a master's rather than working in a software developer role or other roles?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it was a very random thing. I never wanted to do masters. Like that
Hmm.
wasn't a plan for me. But then my parents pushed me into this. They always
Mhm.
felt that whatever I was doing in India, I could do much better, like if given an opportunity.
Hmm.
So they kind of pushed me into this. A lot of my colleagues in TCS, they were preparing for masters. So I just happened to tell this to my parents, and then they decided, they were like, okay, you should too give it a try. And that's how one thing led to another, and I'm here.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what was your means job role at TCS and what package it was?
Okay, so package, everyone knows what TCS pays.
Yeah,
Okay,
means
so I
it's
don't want to say
yeah.
it was a normal package. It's
Hmm.
everywhere. It's been the same package from 2003, 2002. So
Yeah.
it's very easy for someone to Google a TCS package.
Hmm.
And I was an automation developer. I used to do scripting in Python to automate the functionalities. So that's
Mhm.
what I was doing in TCS.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, and
Yeah, and I loved my job. I loved
mhm.
my job. I was really happy. I was super content. As I said, I never planned to do on masters. This was all my parents' plan. So yeah,
Hmm.
I was happy with what I was doing.
Yeah, then how did you manage? Means how did you start your preparation in masters and came to the?
Okay, so that again is a whole new story.
Hmm.
So as I said, I never planned to do it. I just happened to tell my parents, and that's when my parents decided that I should give it a try.
Hmm.
And so I booked my slot for. So there are these two exams that you need to give. Like I gave those exams. That is
Hmm.
GRE.
Hmm.
That's basically a mix of English and aptitude, and then there is TOEFL, which is English.
Hmm.
So my parents asked me to book a reserve my seat for a month later. So I booked. I believe I gave my GRE on somewhere around October or November 11th, and I booked my slot for that. Okay, so on 11th October I booked my slot for 11th of November.
Hmm.
So I had a month in my hand to prepare for GRE, and for that 1 month I literally slept like 3 hours every day, and I was studying the entire time. Even in office I was studying. I was a full-time employee, so
Hmm.
obviously it was difficult for me, and I could not give up on that, all the work that I was doing. I was assigned some task as well, and there were so many people who helped me. Obviously in teachers there were a couple of my friends who helped me.
Hmm.
And then yeah, so I would wake up at 4 in morning, and I would just start studying. Even in office I would just straight away go to library. I utilized teachers library a lot. I did not buy any of my own books. Teachers library has got everything, all the GRE books, all the TOEFL books. I used all of those books. So for a month I prepared, and then on 11th of November I appeared for my exam. I scored pretty well. It wasn't a good score, it was a normal score.
Hmm.
But that's when my parents got a validation. I got a validation that if I can score this much in a month, then maybe if I take a year and I prepare rigorously, then maybe I can kind of do wonders. So that's what
Yeah.
the plan was. But then after that, my parents asked me to appear for TOEFL as well. Basically,
Hmm.
my dad, he asked me to appear for TOEFL as well. And again, just to get a validation that where do I stand?
Hmm.
What kind of preparation do I need? So I appeared for TOEFL, and I scored somewhere around 98 out of 120, I believe.
Yeah.
And again, they were okay. They were
Hmm.
like, yeah, okay, fine. If you can score this much in like a week of preparation, then maybe if given a 1 year, you can achieve, you can do much better.
Yeah, amazing. You can do it.
Yeah, so that's what the plan was. And then there are a lot of many other things that you need to be prepared with if you're planning for masters. That is your SOP That has basically an essay that defines your personality and everything, what you have done so far, what do you aspire to do, what you're doing right now, all those things you have to mention. And then you have to mention things like why is this particular university you want to go for, and all of those things. So I worked on my SOP also, I worked on my LOR also. LOR is letter of recommendation. I got my LOR from my professors, from my managers. So again, just to get a validation of my SOP and LOR, I applied in one university. Then I thought, no, I'm not smart enough to get admit from one university, obviously. So I should be applying in at least 5 university to get one admit.
Okay.
So one by one, I started applying. And that this happened in January, and I was really late for application. That's what I thought. That's what many people think, that January is very late for fall intake. If you start putting your application in January, that's really late. But as said, I wasn't planning on masters for that very year. I was just like kind of getting into the system that time. Then one by one, I ended up applying in 10 universities, and I got admit from all of them. I don't know why and how. Maybe my SOP did wonders. I don't know, because my GRE score wasn't that good, to be honest. So yeah, once I got all the admits, and I didn't have enough time to research on the universities, like which particular university do I want to go for and which course do I want to pursue. I didn't have that much of time. And again, I was just doing my time pass that time. I wasn't serious about it at all. So what I did was, I knew that I want to pursue masters in MIS. That's a different story. I'll tell you why. So I just Googled top 10 universities for MS in MIS in US. That's what I did. And I applied. I blindly applied in all those 10 universities. And I got admit from most of them. So that's when my parents decided that even if I wait for a year, I'll be applying to same universities. So it doesn't make sense to waste an entire year on this. So this happened, I believe, in 20. That was the COVID year. Okay. So so I could not go that year. No one can go. There was no travel at all that year. So then I had to defer my admit to next year. I think that was 2020, and then I deferred my admit to 2021. So that was last year. So I came here last year in fall. That's in August. Yeah. So that's been my master's journey.
Then how much does it cost to do a master's in abroad?
So it depends on universities. For so my course, it's MIS. It's the course is provided by business school, and business courses are relatively on the expensive side. So my course would cost around 69 to 70K dollar, the tuition fee. And then so I am in Tucson. Tucson is relatively cheaper place. Rent and everything is relatively cheaper in Tucson. So personal expenses is not that much, but still I would say 80 to 90K dollar at least. At least. Then obviously there are so many additional costs, like a GRE application process itself is super costly. To put an application in one college takes around $100. So that's a lot, like more than 7,000 rupees. And I've applied in 10 universities. So that's a lot. Then again, your flight tickets and everything, your GRE costs around 15,000 or 25,000. I'm not sure. So that's pretty expensive again. So the entire application process itself is very expensive. Your visa would cost around 35,000. So
but it is a one-time investment, so it is great for future.
True that.
And you were saying that why was your main reason to just pursue masters in business and rather than going in a tech side?
Okay, so not many people know it. It's not business. So MIS is a perfect blend of technology and management. The very first day I joined TCS and I met with my manager, I knew that I want to be in his place. I knew that because he was doing so many things wrong, and I wanted to make all those things right. But I knew, so my manager had like 13 years of experience, and I didn't have that kind of patience. I knew that I want to be in that place, but I don't want to wait for 13 years. And so I always wanted to get into managerial side, but I never wanted to leave the technical side of it. I wanted to lead a team. I wanted to manage a team, but a technical team. I was very sure about it. So that's one of the reasons I didn't go for MBA. Because MBA is good, but it opens so many different dynamics for you. But then it does open so many sites where a lot of technicality is not involved at times. So that's why I didn't want it to go for MBA. So MIS is a perfect blend of management as well as technology. I took some subjects that were related to business management, and then there were subjects like EDM, that's like the highest level of database management system. Then I
Hmm.
took subjects like data mining. So yeah, it's a lot about data. It's a lot about I learned R programming during my master's. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a perfect blend of programming, technology, management, and everything.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
and recently I also came to know that you had done an intern in means you were doing an intern at Microsoft. So how
yeah.
was your means process of getting into the Microsoft?
Okay. So here, two things work. Either
Hmm.
you can apply through a referral. You can ask someone
Yeah,
from the So the basic thing is you have to go to LinkedIn, or there are different portals like
yeah.
Handshake, LinkedIn, Wake Up, and Indeed. So many things. You just go there. You Google for the jobs, like a relevant job opening, and then once you see that link, it takes you to the career page of that particular job
Job.
or the company. And then yeah, and then you have to there are two ways. Either you can just straight away apply, or you can ask someone in that particular company to refer you for this particular roles. That
Hmm.
just increases the chances of your resume getting picked. But I have off late I've learned, like last week only I got to know that in Microsoft, while internship referrals don't work that much.
Hmm.
Someone from the Microsoft who hires people has told me this. That's because in Microsoft, unlike other companies, for example, just take any company,
Yeah.
ABC, there is
Hmm.
this company. So what they do is they know that they want to have 5,000 interns. They'll hire 5,000 interns, and then
Hmm.
they'll start assigning teams to them. But
Hmm.
that's not how it works in Microsoft. In Microsoft, every team does not needs to have an intern. Team decide whether they need an intern this year or not, and then
Hmm.
they put that request to the recruiters, and accordingly the people are recruited for that particular position. So once you are getting interviewed, they already know for which team they are interviewing you. I didn't know
Hmm.
this. So
Yeah.
in that way, referral won't work here.
Hmm.
Full time it will work. So that's how you apply. I just went through LinkedIn job opening, I applied from there, and then I think I heard back from Microsoft within 2 weeks. They called me for an initial interview round,
Hmm.
and which was 45 minutes of a screening round where they grilled me on my behavioral was just for 10 minutes, and then on my product knowledge, since I'm interning for technical product manager role.
Hmm.
And after that, within a week or so, I heard back from them saying that they will want to have a final round of interview, which was of 4 hours, and it was a bummer to me because for
It
an
was such a
internship, like
long interview.
and 4 hours is straight interview. I was
Yeah.
given like five 5 minutes. I was given a break in between, but then I mean 4 hours for an internship. I mean, come on. I was like,
Yeah.
are you hiring me for full time or what? So yeah, so again for 4 hours, it was super technical interview for me.
Hmm.
When I compare myself with other people, I don't know why it was so technical. Now that I have worked here for 3 months, I've realized that why it was so technical. I can connect the dots now because my team is super technical.
Hmm.
So there were 3 rounds for product. It was core product thing. They asked me every possible thing about product, and then one round was coding round. They grilled
Hmm.
me on data structure and all.
Yeah. DSA common
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So tell me something about the technical product management role, means how it is, and
Uh-huh.
it is a
So
good or what about it?
okay, so many people know that there is this role PM. So PM
Hmm.
can be of three
Product manager.
types. That is product manager, project manager, program manager. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
Product managers are the one on a very high level, I'll tell you, because obviously there are so many in-depth things. On a very high level, product managers are the one who have to either come up with a new product or a new feature in an existing product. Okay.
Hmm.
So they need to understand the pain point of the customers, that what are the problems that they need to solve. Then they need to do a user segmentation kind of thing. Because for example, if I'm a product manager for Facebook
Hmm.
can be a very easy example. That's why I'm taking Facebook.
Yeah.
So if at all I want to introduce this new button in Facebook, I need to keep in mind for which user segment I'm doing this. I
Hmm.
cannot do it for everyone. There can be different ways on which user segmentation can be done. For example, am I targeting a particular country, a particular area? Am I targeting a particular age group? Am I bringing this new feature for elder people, for young people, for Gen Z, or for
Hmm.
whom? For millennials. So there are so many different factors on the basis of which user segmentation is done. because if you keep everyone in mind and start developing a product, that's gonna serve no purpose in the end. Okay, then once you come up with that, then again you have to re-identify your problems, and then you have to come up with a couple of solutions. Again, you cannot bring in every solution in one go, so you have to prioritize on your solutions. You have to come up with that one solution, and once that solution goes into development, you also need to, the last step is you also need to come up with the ways or the matrices on the basis of which you will be evaluating the performance of the success or the failure of that particular feature or product. So for
Hmm.
example, if I'm introducing one new button in Facebook,
Hmm.
obviously it's going to take place of some other button, right? There
Yeah.
must be something, I'll be replacing that with a new button. So I need to be ready with the matrices on the basis of which I'll be later on evaluating that introducing this button has been a good thing for Facebook, or it has had a negative impact on Facebook. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's what product managers do. Project managers on the other hand, they manage the team. They are responsible for, so once they have all the requirement that this has to be done, these are the things that needs to be achieved, they are dealing with the team. They are responsible for keeping everything on track, keeping everyone on the same page, facilitating the communication, making sure that everything is like on track. And then again, they need to follow some methodologies, like there are waterfall models, there are agile methodology. So they need to come up with all of those things, that what is the structure of their team, are they following a scrum and all of those things. So they have
Hmm.
to kind of manage the team. They are responsible, they don't have to do anything with the product. Then there is program manager. Program manager in different companies have different roles. Especially, I'll talk. So I know in Facebook there are program managers for infrastructure. There are program managers for networking zone. So program managers is a whole different thing. Like it
Yeah.
differs from company to company.
Hmm.
In Microsoft, we call it program manager, but they are actually product managers. Again,
Okay.
product managers can be of so many different types. So I am technical product manager.
Hmm.
There can be a customer facing product managers where they need to communicate with the clients, with the customers, and all of those. In that case, you don't need to have those technical knowledge.
Hmm.
But then there are technical product managers, like everyone in my team. In my team, everyone is super good at coding. They all do code reviews also
Yeah.
whenever there is a time crunch or something.
Hmm.
So we are responsible for, so what my team is doing, what I am doing is, so Microsoft is trying to come up with a hybrid cloud system that's going to launch in coming days. I can't disclose the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am PM, I am product managers for the performance side of it.
Hmm.
I have to come up with the ways that once the product will be in market, how are we going to evaluate its performance? Because obviously we have competitors in Google, Amazon, like
Yeah.
AWS, and so many other companies. So if not better than them, we should not be worse than them. We have to
Hmm.
be at least equivalent to them, right? Then only people will be taking this new service from Microsoft. So I'm responsible for that. I have to come up with all those workloads on the basis of which we'll be evaluating the performance. And then in Microsoft, we don't have concept of project manager at all. Product managers are only the project managers also.
Hmm.
So I am responsible for coming up with those workloads, coming up with the deadline, the timeline, that by when it has to be developed and everything. And I am in touch with all the developers, and we are collectively doing it.
Okay.
I have meetings with them every week. I take a status from them that how far have we reached it, will we be able to pull this off at the given time or not. And that's how we are just doing it.
Yeah. So means a product manager has such a hectic work, we can say.
Yeah, like there are so many
Yeah, means
meetings, there are
each
so
and
many
everything.
communication.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so one can directly go from a B.tech to the product manager role, or he or she need to
Um,
do masters.
no, a master is not a requirement at all.
Hmm.
But there is this catch that in India, that degree is always given more importance than your skill sets.
Yeah.
So as I said, one of the reasons for coming in US is I knew if I had to be a product manager or a project manager in India, I need to have like 10 years of experience. That then only they'll be considering me to be capable of managing a team. But
Hmm.
that's not the case here in US. So in US, you don't need to have that degree, but obviously you need to have some experience. That's a good thing. It's not a requirement, but that's a good thing. Your chances of your resume getting picked is always higher if you have an experience, because obviously it's a managerial role. So they
Yeah.
expect some kind of experience here. But all the developers in my team, they are all 13 years plus experience, and
Hmm.
I am someone who is assigning them tasks, and they never mind it, because they
Yeah.
know that what I am doing is what I love doing, and what they are doing is absolutely what they want to do. So they never judge me on the basis of my age, but it's a little different in India, as we all know. Like obviously
Yeah.
you cannot manage a team if you don't have that year of experience, even if you have got the right skill set. So it's difficult in India. But I know that a couple of people in all the big companies in Facebook, like Meta, Microsoft,
Yeah.
then Amazon, they are hiring MBA students from all these IIMs as a product managers. So it's happening in India. It's changing in India as well.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, means somewhat a kind of experience and relevant skills must be there. Then
Yes,
he or she
yes.
can easily able to get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. After B.tech, it's just next to impossible in India, I'm sure. Yeah, even here, after B.tech, it's extremely difficult.
One more doubt: the software developer role is much better, or product manager role is much better.
So both are equally important. Again, as I said, it depends on the person. Both. So, so there has to be a manager, right?
Yeah.
Developers cannot come up with the features with all the requirements on their own. There has to be a manager who has to do that. But then again, there are so many people that I know who want to be in their shell, who want to be assigned work. They don't want to assign work to other people. They just they would, by the end of the day, they want to complete their code and go home. They don't want to talk to so many people. So for them, obviously, software development is much better, because then you have to just do your work and go back to your home. If you are into product managerial role or any managerial role, you have to communicate with so many people. You have like back to back meetings every day, and not everyone is that comfortable with having so many meetings in a day. So yeah, it depends on person what kind of work you want to do.
Yeah, and
Both are equally important. Yeah,
yeah, and depend on your interest also, how your interest is there.
true.
What we should be focusing on? We should be focusing on a good company or a good package.
Yeah, so this is an interesting question. So I would say neither. Focus on the right skill set. Go for a company, go to a team where there is more learning, at least at the initial stage of your career. So here, I know I am put in a very difficult team. When I came here, when I started with my internship, it was super overwhelming for me. I was super intimidated by everything. I was literally crying that why did I join this? Please send me back to my place. I don't want to do this, because everything is very technical. It's so difficult. But then after being here for 3 months, if at all everything works out for me, I'll have no regrets, because when you start at the difficult place, obviously your transition becomes easier when you move ahead with your career. Now I know that I can be like, if at all given a chance and I'll work in this team for a year, I know that I can go to any product related role, be it managerial, be it customer facing, be less technical, be it more technical. I can do anything after a year of experience. So this is right time for me to learn. So for everyone, since if at all your our audience is below 30, below 35, then this is the right time that we must be focusing on skill sets. I
Yeah.
know not everyone is interested in coding, but time is changing now. You don't have to be good at coding to, like, I know when I was back in India, it was all about coding. Now there are so many things opening up, like data, where you don't need to do no coding. It's extremely interesting job. So yeah, just develop that right skill set. But again, if the option is between a good company and a good package, then it's a personal choice. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. You don't need to follow what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I personally always believe in good company and not package, because good companies always have that good policy where you have a perfect work life balance. And by the end of the day, I really want to be happy.
Yeah.
And I would want to give up on a little money. I am okay in earning a little less, but then by the end of the day, I just want to be happy. So
Yeah.
yeah, a good company with a good policy, with a good culture, with good people.
Yeah, and for getting an internship, one should be having a good CGPA and a right skill set.
Yeah, CGPA is, I think CGPA is only required to meet that minimum eligibility criteria. Other than that, CGPA is not that helpful back in India also and here also. So after my undergrad, I interviewed with so many companies, and most of those companies had their minimum criteria as either 60%, or some few of them
75.
had like 70%. Yeah, 70%. So if you meet that criteria, after that, everyone is on the same page, I believe. Once you are in that interview room, after that, you have to sell your skill sets, you have to sell yourself and not your GPA. I think everyone is treated equally after that. You just have to have that minimum requirement. Even in US, I don't think anyone has ever seen my GPA. In fact, while applying for internship, I didn't even put my GPA because I didn't have any GPA by then.
Hmm.
So yeah, GPA does not matter. But if at all any one of you who is watching this want to pursue masters, then GPA does play a little role there, because for pursuing masters, even for MBA in India,
Hmm.
and even for masters here in US, they look for overall profile. They look at your overall profile. So you need to have, if at all you have good GPA, then obviously you have an edge over other students. But again, if you don't have a good GPA, then you can compensate that with your other things. Like you can just publish some papers, you can just have your improve your overall
Yeah, and a good
profile, you're
project
writing
also.
a good SOP, yeah, a good project. So that's how you compensate it. But if at all, like if someone has like 96-97% of GPA, then obviously they're given an edge.
Yeah. And how much does a product manager role make? Means how much they have an average package or
Mhm.
decent package?
Okay, so since I'm just starting with my product managerial journey now, so I know what a new join, not a new, uh, just a graduate pass out student would get. I know about that salary range. So that would be
Hmm.
around, so the base pay would be around 130K, 140K dollar to 160-70K would be the base pay. Then on top of that, you might be getting some bonus, like the
Yeah.
joining bonus, and then the stocks and everything will be additional.
Yeah.
So that's the salary range, yeah,
Hmm.
for
And
someone who is just starting with the PM role.
so just a start. Yeah, and
Yeah, and again, it's only for the big companies I'm talking about. Okay, like we should not generalize this. It can
yeah,
be a little skewed because, so I'm talking about only the big companies.
yeah, means it depend on different type of companies.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct.
Mm. And a final advice, what would be like you would be like to give to our audience?
So I don't know if I'm in a stage of giving advices or not, but still,
Final.
so what worked for me, yeah, what has worked for me in life is, don't get settled. You'll get ample opportunities to settle in future. You'll have your spouse, you'll have your children, and all of that. Think about settling in life then. Right now, just try to come out of your shell. There are so many opportunities waiting for you. Come out of your comfort zone, try on different things. The worst would happen is you'll fail and you'll come back to the place where you started, but that's okay, you are already at that place. So yeah, just come out of your comfort zone, try on different things. There are so many things you can achieve that you don't even know. Like since I didn't even have a year back, I didn't even was planning on coming to US. That's where I was. But once I am here, after being here in a year, uh, like for a year, I now realize there are so many things that I'm capable of that I didn't even know. So you don't even know of your true capabilities until unless you come out of your comfort zone and your shell. So yeah, do that,
Okay.
explore.
Just
Yeah,
try to explore different kind of opportunity.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to ask that does a branch matter while pursuing for a master's?
It does, obviously it does matter. It like you have to leverage your future things on what you have done in past, but
Hmm.
then there are always second chances in life. There
Yeah.
are always, even in my university, there are so many students who are from um, chemical background, who are from mechanical background. They have had zero experience in coding, and they are doing wonderfully now. Like there are so many online resources. If you don't get like if you do not get into a college with the for the course that you aspire to
Yeah.
be, like if for example, if you didn't get a computer science course, there are so many online videos. Learn it on your own. Everyone, people are doing that. People are doing. I am here in US only because of YouTube. All the videos that I could see, I literally have no one from my family or friends who is in US, so I did everything on my own. And there are so many online resources that are there to help you. So yeah, you get a second chance. You always have chance to turn the tables. So utilize that. Even in India, I have, like when I joined TCS, a couple of my friends were from mechanical field, and they are doing wonders. Everyone, like they are having more than 20 LPL packages now, and they are all engineers in machine learning AI field, and
Yeah.
they are doing wonders. They started with zero coding experience, and we all started at the same place. So yes, even India, it's not about you, it's even in India, you can always learn things on your own. There are so many online courses, and you can always make that shift from, you can always make that transition from one field to another.
Okay, that's amazing. So it doesn't matter, means a branch or like that, all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Like obviously, it does. Like for me, the journey has been smooth because since I did my undergrad in computer science and I have always been involved in that technical side, so it has been smooth for me. But if at all you wanna make a transition, do it. I am doing a product managerial thing now.
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I didn't expect me to do that. I don't belong to that field at all. I have zero product experience, and I am sitting here doing that. So yes, you always have a chance to again explore new things.
Yeah. So that's pretty much wrapping up. And thanks, Shreya, for coming and removing a valuable time and coming here to share and a valuable knowledge. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. No problem. Thank you so much for having me.